Money is more than just a tool we use to buy things. It's a powerful force that flows through every part of our lives. When we understand that money is energy, we unlock the potential to use it in ways that work for us, ways that bring growth, opportunity, and success. But to do this, we must stop seeing money as something to chase and start seeing it as something to attract, harness, and multiply. In this journey, we'll dive into the practical steps you can take to change your mindset about money. It's not just about earning more or spending less. It's about creating a relationship with money that helps you grow and achieve your fullest potential. You will learn how to manage money with purpose, develop habits that align with your goals, and build a foundation of financial discipline that leads to lasting success. This is not a quick fix guide. It's a step-by-step approach to transform the way you think about and manage money. Along the way, you'll find actionable tips to help you shift your mindset, grow your wealth, and put in the kind of effort that leads to long-term results. Whether you're struggling to take control of your finances or you're looking to elevate your financial game, this guide will give you the tools and insights to make money work for you, not the other way around. If you're ready to take charge of your financial future, it's time to stop waiting for change to happen and start making it happen. Keep reading, and let's get started on your path to financial freedom. Chapter 1. Understand money as energy and how it flows naturally. Most people never think about money beyond numbers in a bank account. They see it as something they chase, something that slips away when they're not paying attention, or something that belongs to those who got lucky. But the truth is far more empowering. Money is not just a tool. It's not just paper or digits on a screen. Money is energy. It's a form of stored effort, focused intention, and disciplined choices. When you truly understand this, everything changes. You stop chasing money and start aligning yourself with how it flows. You begin to realize that money doesn't just respond to hard work, it responds to clarity, discipline, and purpose. Every decision you make is either storing energy or leaking it. That energy turns into results. It's not about working more hours. It's about managing your energy in ways that build momentum. When you misuse your time, when you give in to distraction, or when you operate without intention, you're wasting the very energy that could have been turned into money. But when you get focused, when you become intentional, when you stop trying to impress others and start building your value quietly, you change the way money flows into your life. It's not magic, it's discipline. It's about how you channel your energy into actions that compound over time. Most people are stuck in survival mode because they treat money as something emotional. They fear not having it. They crave more of it. They compare themselves to people who have it. They don't realize that money follows calm and clear thinking. It doesn't respond to desperation. It doesn't come to you when you're chasing it recklessly. It comes when you build yourself into someone who can handle it. If you treat money as energy, then you must become someone who uses energy wisely. That means no more emotional spending. No more trying to feel good by buying things you don't need. No more sacrificing your long-term stability for short-term comfort. Money flows naturally when you operate with internal balance. That balance begins with self-control. You can't master money if you can't master your impulses. You can't save, invest, or build anything meaningful if you keep giving in to the urge to feel good right now. That's what drains your energy. That's what keeps you stuck. Your energy must be guarded, just like your time and your attention. Every hour you give to distraction is energy that could have become something valuable. Every decision you make that's based on ego or insecurity is energy that gets wasted. And every time you act out of alignment with your purpose, you interrupt the natural flow of money into your life. Energy flows where intention goes. If your intentions are weak, scattered, or unclear, your results will reflect that. But when your intentions are strong and focused, when you know what you want and why it matters, your energy becomes organized. That's when you start to notice momentum building. That's when you start to see small wins compound into bigger ones. That's when people begin to see your value, not because you told them, but because you've become someone whose energy creates results. That's the kind of person money gravitates toward. Not someone loud, not someone desperate, but someone consistent. Every single day you're given a fixed amount of energy. How you spend that energy shapes your life. You can choose to waste it on things that give you nothing in return, or you can choose to direct it toward building something valuable. When you choose to build, whether that's a business, a skill, a mindset, or your health, you're investing energy in a way that creates more of it. That's how money works. It doesn't come from panic or pressure. It comes from compounded focus and deliberate effort. That's why people who build slowly often become unstoppable. They've learned how to hold their energy instead of spending it recklessly. To truly understand how money flows, you need to look at where your energy is going. Every dollar you earn is a result of energy you've invested. If you're earning very little, it's not because you're not working hard enough. It's often because your energy is scattered, unfocused, or misdirected. You might be spending your energy on things that feel urgent but produce no real value. You might be working hard but not working wisely. You might be giving your energy to other people's goals instead of your own. That's not failure, it's feedback. It's your chance to shift. Money rewards clarity. The clearer you are on your goals, your values, and your strategy, the more naturally money begins to move toward you. That doesn't mean it'll happen overnight. But it does mean you stop blocking your own progress. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your values. You stop saying yes to things that pull you away from your mission. That kind of focus is rare, which is why it's powerful. The more rare your focus, the more valuable your energy becomes. And the more valuable your energy becomes, the more money it can create. Discipline is what directs your energy. Without discipline, your energy gets pulled in every direction. You react instead of respond. You chase instead of build. You consume instead of create. And over time, you wonder why your efforts don't produce anything meaningful. But when you apply discipline, everything changes. You start to track your habits. You start to eliminate distractions. You begin to value silence, patience, and simplicity. You learn to say no to the things that drain you. You protect your mornings. You organize your priorities. You stop wasting your days. Money flows naturally when your life becomes structured around what matters. Not what's popular, not what's convenient. What matters. And what matters is building value. You build value by showing up with consistency. You build value by becoming more skilled. You build value by solving real problems for real people. That's what energy is for. It's not for trying to impress people online. It's not for reacting to every emotion. It's for creating something that lasts. Something that reflects your discipline. Something that multiplies over time. If you use your energy like that, money will follow. Maybe not instantly, but definitely and eventually. If you waste your energy trying to look successful, you'll always stay broke. If you spend your energy chasing trends, you'll always be tired. But if you focus your energy on becoming someone who adds value, the game changes. You're no longer chasing money. You're attracting it through your consistency. You're earning it by doing work that matters. You're creating it by investing in yourself. That's how you escape the cycle of scarcity. Not by complaining, not by waiting for a breakthrough, but by taking control of where your energy goes. You must be brutally honest with yourself about how you use your energy. That's the only way to shift. You need to ask hard questions. What are you doing with your time? Who are you giving your attention to? What habits are draining you? What actions are creating real progress? This kind of self-audit is not about shame. It's about awareness. Because without awareness, you'll keep making the same choices and expecting different results. But once you see where your energy is going, you can take it back. You can redirect it. You can protect it. The natural flow of money is not random. It follows value. It follows trust. It follows discipline. People pay for things they trust. They pay for experiences that solve problems. They pay for consistency. So when you become consistent, trustworthy, and valuable, you're aligning with how money flows. You're no longer fighting the current. You're flowing with it. That doesn't mean life gets easy, but it does mean it gets clearer. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop wondering why things aren't working. You start focusing on what's in your control, your habits, your thoughts, your energy. Energy compounds. What you do daily matters more than what you do occasionally. That's why discipline beats intensity. You don't need to work yourself into the ground. You just need to show up with focus every day. You need to cut the noise. You need to stop entertaining distractions. You need to make better decisions even when no one is watching. That's how energy works. It's not about how loud you are. It's about how aligned you are. You don't need to prove yourself to others. You need to become someone you respect. Someone whose energy builds things. Someone whose time creates results. Understanding that money is energy is not just a mindset shift. It's a life shift. It changes how you spend your time. It changes how you treat yourself. It changes how you show up in the world. You begin to see everything as a choice. You realize that every distraction is a tax on your future. You understand that saying yes to nonsense is saying no to your progress. You start to value silence. You begin to embrace boredom. You find strength in discipline. And most importantly, you stop leaking energy. That's how you win. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters. This isn't a game of luck. It's a game of alignment. When your values, habits, and actions are aligned, your energy becomes powerful. When you stop seeking validation, your focus becomes razor sharp. When you stop trying to be seen, your work becomes more meaningful. And when you stop wasting your energy on things that drain you, you start building a life that sustains you. Money is a byproduct of this alignment. It shows up when you stop chasing it and start earning it through discipline. That's not a theory. That's the truth. You are not here to live in survival mode. You are not here to repeat cycles of frustration. You are here to take control of your life. You are here to own your energy. You are here to rise above excuses. And that starts with seeing money for what it is. Stored energy. It's the result of where you've been placing your time, your effort, your focus. If you're not happy with the result, change the input. Guard your energy like it's your future, because it is. Start today. Track your habits. Fix your focus. Cut what drains you. Build what fuels you. The flow of money will follow. Chapter 2. Shift your mindset to view money as a tool. Money is only dangerous when it's misunderstood. When you attach your identity to it, you make it your master. When you fear it, you become its prisoner. But when you understand what it truly is, a tool, nothing more, nothing less, you reclaim your power. You stop worshipping it. You stop fearing it. You start using it. And that's where your life begins to change. Money was never meant to define who you are. It was meant to support what you build, protect what you value, and empower the life you want to create. It was meant to serve you, not control you. Most people never question their beliefs about money. They inherit them. They copy what they saw growing up. They internalize the fear, the stress, the guilt, the scarcity, and then they carry those patterns into adulthood, repeating the same financial chaos they promised themselves they would avoid. That's what happens when money is seen as something emotional or mysterious. It becomes something to avoid, something to chase, or something to argue about. But money isn't the problem. The mindset is. Once you see money as a neutral tool, just like a hammer, just like a pen, just like a phone, you stop making emotional decisions around it and start making intentional ones. You don't get stronger by fearing the tools. You get stronger by learning how to use them. A knife in the hands of a chef creates a meal. In the hands of someone careless, it causes harm. The tool didn't change. The user did. That's exactly how money works. The same money that builds schools and changes lives also funds addictions and emptiness. So if you're waiting for money to change your life without changing your mindset, you're setting yourself up for regret. You must become someone who knows how to use it with wisdom, purpose, and self-respect. A tool works best when it's used with clarity. If you pick up a hammer without knowing what you want to build, you'll waste your effort or cause damage. The same goes for money. You need a clear reason behind why you want it. Not to impress others, not to escape boredom, not to prove anything, but to support your vision. That vision needs to be rooted in something real, something that aligns with your values, something you actually care about. Because money without meaning is a trap. It keeps you busy but never satisfied. It keeps you consuming but never fulfilled. You can't build anything strong on a weak foundation. And most people have weak foundations when it comes to money. They treat it like a source of happiness instead of what it really is, a resource to be managed, a tool to be directed. Money doesn't change you. It reveals you. It shows what you value, how disciplined you are, and what kind of choices you make when no one's watching. If your mindset is rooted in fear, you'll misuse it. If it's rooted in wisdom, you'll multiply it. It's never about how much you have. It's about how well you use what you have. When you see money as a tool, you stop assigning moral weight to it. You stop saying things like money is evil or rich people are selfish. You realize those are just stories created by people who feel powerless. Money has no character. It doesn't care who you are. It simply responds to how you use it. You can use it to build a business, help your family, improve your health, or give others opportunities. Or you can waste it on distractions and chase things that leave you feeling empty. But every dollar is a decision. Every dollar reflects your mindset. It's time to replace emotional thinking with strategic thinking. Strategic thinkers use money to create options. They use it to protect their peace. They use it to create freedom. Emotional thinkers use money to cope with their feelings. They use it to escape. They use it to impress people who don't care about them. But eventually, emotional decisions lead to stress. They create chaos. They destroy trust in yourself and in your future. That's why shifting your mindset is not optional. It's urgent. Until you start seeing money as a neutral tool, you'll keep misusing it and then blaming it. People who use money well don't have special talents. They just think differently. They don't see money as the goal. They see it as a means to an end. They focus on building value, protecting their time, and staying disciplined. That's why they don't panic when something breaks. They've built margin. That's why they don't argue over every purchase. They have a plan. That's why they sleep better. They trust their decisions. You don't need more money to live better. You need a better way to think about money. You need to stop reacting and start leading. You need to stop consuming and start building. Your relationship with money reflects your relationship with yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you'll avoid managing money. If you don't respect yourself, you'll spend recklessly. If you don't believe in your future, you won't plan for it. That's why financial improvement starts from within. You don't need more books or more tips. You need more honesty. You need to admit when you've been careless. You need to admit when you've made excuses. You need to admit when you've used money to fill a void instead of creating value. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's where transformation begins. Seeing money as a tool means you start using it like one. You budget because it helps you focus. You save because it gives you options. You invest because it creates momentum. You eliminate debt because it frees your future. None of those things are punishments. They're disciplines. They're strategies that make your life easier, not harder. But most people avoid these steps because they're emotionally charged. They think budgeting is limiting. They think saving is boring. They think planning is for people who are scared. But that's just the old mindset talking. The new mindset sees the truth. The new mindset sees freedom. Money gives you leverage, not identity. It's not a measure of your worth. It's not proof of your intelligence. It's a tool that amplifies who you already are. If you're kind, it gives you the ability to be generous. If you're selfish, it gives you the ability to isolate. If you're disciplined, it accelerates your progress. If you're reckless, it magnifies your mistakes. That's why it's dangerous to wait until you have more before you change your habits. Your future is being shaped by how you treat your money now. Not someday. Now. If you can't manage a small amount, you won't manage a large one. More money doesn't fix bad habits. It multiplies them. If you overspend now, you'll overspend later. If you avoid responsibility now, you'll avoid it later. The amount changes. The mindset doesn't, unless you change it. That's the truth most people avoid. They think their problems will disappear once they hit a certain income. But their habits follow them. Their mindset follows them. The only way to build a strong financial life is to build a strong internal life first. That means practicing discipline with what you have now. That means treating every dollar with respect. This shift in thinking opens the door to peace. You no longer feel controlled by money. You start to control it. You use it to build, not impress. You use it to grow, not distract. You use it to plan, not panic. And when life throws challenges at you, you're prepared. Because you weren't pretending. You weren't chasing approval. You were building something real. That's what tools are for. They help you create. They help you protect. They help you move forward with clarity. And the more you use your tools with care, the stronger your results become. You don't need to be a financial expert. You just need to be consistent. You need to tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. You need to have a purpose for every dollar instead of spending out of impulse. You need to get clear on your priorities. What matters to you? What do you want to build? What kind of life do you want to support? Those answers give your money direction. They make your decisions easier. They eliminate confusion. That's how you lead your financial life instead of being led by it. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily practice. You'll still feel tempted. You'll still feel discouraged. But you'll also feel stronger, because you'll start to see progress. You'll notice your decisions improving. You'll notice your stress decreasing. You'll notice your confidence growing, not because you became rich, but because you stopped avoiding reality. You faced it. You owned it. You used your tools with clarity. And that's what changes everything. Not what you earn, but how you think. You are not powerless. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You are just one mindset shift away from taking control. That shift begins when you stop seeing money as a mystery and start treating it as a tool. It's not here to impress people. It's not here to fix your feelings. It's here to support your growth. It's here to help you move with purpose. It's here to help you create peace. But only if you use it with clarity. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to wait until things are perfect. Start with what you have. Track your spending. Set a simple goal. Say no to one unnecessary purchase. Celebrate progress, not perfection. And most of all, remind yourself that you are the one in charge. You are the builder. You are the leader. You are the one shaping your future. The tool is in your hands. Use it wisely. Chapter 3. Cultivate habits that attract and sustain financial energy. The patterns you repeat every day decide the energy you carry into your life. When it comes to money, it's not about luck, shortcuts, or secret strategies. It's about the habits you live by. What you do consistently will either attract financial growth or block it. Financial energy responds to order, not chaos. It follows structure, not randomness. If your habits are scattered, your results will be too. But when you align your daily actions with clarity, discipline, and responsibility, money begins to respond in your favor. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen when you get intentional. To attract money, you have to become someone who handles money with awareness. That begins with how you treat your time, your energy, and your responsibilities. If you procrastinate, avoid your priorities, and waste your focus, you can't expect your financial life to be strong. Money doesn't flow to those who hope for it. It flows to those who respect it. And respect starts small. It starts when you wake up with a plan. It starts when you choose discipline over distraction. It starts when you stop chasing convenience and begin building consistency. Those small choices create long-term shifts. Habits that attract financial energy are rooted in self-respect. When you show up on time, follow through on what you said, and stay organized, you communicate to yourself and the world that you are dependable. People trust people who are consistent, and trust is the foundation of every opportunity. Whether it's a new job, a promotion, a business partnership, or a client, opportunities are drawn to those who move with clarity and follow through with action. That's why success begins with your habits, not with your desires. Everyone wants to be wealthy. Few are willing to do what it takes daily. You must remove the habits that block your financial energy before you can build the ones that attract it. Scrolling without purpose, spending without thinking, complaining without acting, and avoiding your goals. These drain your energy and confuse your direction. You can't move forward when you keep repeating behaviors that hold you back. It's not just about stopping what's negative. It's about replacing it with what's productive. When you spend your mornings planning your day, when you track your spending, When you learn a new skill, when you read something useful, you're aligning yourself with the kind of energy that creates results. The right habits don't just attract money, they sustain it. Anyone can have a good day. Anyone can get a lucky break. But sustaining wealth and momentum requires a deeper level of character. That means doing the right thing, even when it's not easy. That means honoring your budget when you feel tempted. That means investing your time in learning instead of escaping. The habits that build wealth don't feel exciting at first. They feel slow. They feel ordinary. But they're the exact habits that create freedom, stability, and progress. They don't give you quick highs. They give you deep strength. The way you think about habits matters. You're not just trying to be productive. You're shaping your identity. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you're becoming someone who finishes. Every time you say no to impulse spending, you're becoming someone who is intentional. Every time you learn something new instead of wasting time, you're becoming someone who is growing. The identity you carry determines the financial future you create. If you see yourself as careless, you will act accordingly. If you see yourself as disciplined and focused, you will rise to meet that image. Start small and stay consistent. You don't need to change everything in one day. But you must stop lying to yourself about what you say you want. If you say you want financial stability, but never check where your money goes, you're not being honest. If you say you want freedom, but keep distracting yourself from the work, you're choosing comfort over truth. The path to change isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. Admit where you've been lazy. Acknowledge where you've ignored your growth. Own where you've chosen comfort over character. That honesty becomes your power. Structure is not punishment. It's protection. Creating routines around your finances protects you from future regret. Having a weekly review of your income and expenses keeps your choices aligned with your goals. Automating your savings creates momentum without relying on motivation. Preparing your meals, managing your schedule, planning your tasks. These aren't small things. These are foundational moves. They remove chaos and make room for clarity. And clarity makes it easier to make smart choices under pressure. When you're clear on your direction, you stop reacting and start responding with power. Financial energy thrives in environments of responsibility. You cannot keep blaming the economy, your job, your upbringing, or anything else if you want to change. There's power in taking full ownership of your choices. No matter where you started, you get to decide how you move forward. You get to decide how you spend your time, what habits you create, and what energy you carry. Responsibility isn't heavy when you stop avoiding it. It becomes liberating. It becomes empowering, because once you own the process, you also own the outcome. Discipline isn't about being harsh on yourself. It's about caring for your future more than your current feelings. If you want to attract and sustain financial energy, you have to stop asking what feels good and start asking what moves you forward. That means waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It means studying when you'd rather relax. It means spending wisely when others are wasting. These choices don't feel good at first, but they pay off in clarity, progress, and strength. You don't rise by doing what's easy. You rise by doing what builds your inner capacity. Your mind needs fuel. What you read, watch, and listen to is shaping your financial reality. If you fill your thoughts with negativity, gossip, and mindless content, don't be surprised when your results reflect that same confusion. To attract financial energy, you need to upgrade your thinking. Learn about personal finance. Study successful people. Read books that challenge you to think differently. Surround yourself with conversations that are focused on growth. You're not just changing your habits. You're reshaping your mental environment. And your mental environment decides your emotional and financial outcomes. Organization plays a major role in sustaining financial energy. If your desk is a mess, your digital files are chaotic, your schedule is undefined, and your plans are scattered, you'll struggle to move forward. Order creates flow. Clean spaces create mental peace. A well-managed calendar keeps your priorities in focus. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be clear. Clear on what matters. Clear on what your next move is. Clarity simplifies decisions, and simple decisions repeated daily create massive results over time. You win by staying aligned with your direction, not by doing everything at once. The people you spend time with influence your habits more than you realize. If your circle encourages waste, excuses, and gossip, you will fall into those patterns even if you think you're strong. If your circle is driven, focused, and honest about improvement, you will rise without even noticing. That's the power of environment. You can't outwork a toxic atmosphere, but you can choose to build a new one. Be around people who live with intention. Learn from those who are more disciplined than you. Elevate your standards by elevating your surroundings. You grow faster when you're not growing alone. Habits that attract wealth are built on awareness. Start tracking your behavior, not to judge yourself, but to learn. Notice when you're most productive. Notice when you waste the most money. Notice how you feel when you're focused versus when you're distracted. Data doesn't lie. Use it to your advantage. Adjust your routines. Design your days around your strengths. Reduce friction. Make good habits easier and bad habits harder. This is how you make discipline part of who you are. Not something you fight, but something you live. Financial energy responds to courage. You will need to say no to things others accept. You will need to make decisions without external validation. You will need to delay gratification when others chase it. That takes strength. That takes conviction. But it also gives you freedom. Because once you stop living for the approval of others, you start building for yourself. You stop waiting for luck and start creating your own momentum. That's what real financial growth looks like. Not flashy moves, but powerful consistency in the direction of your values. The compound effect of your daily choices is what determines your financial trajectory. You don't see the results right away, but you feel the shift internally. You feel more in control. You feel more grounded. You feel more capable. And eventually, the external catches up to the internal. You get out of debt. You build savings. You create opportunities. Not because you got lucky, but because you stayed committed when it was boring, hard, or uncertain. Most people quit too early, but those who persist always win in the long run. You are not limited by your past. You are limited by your willingness to change. The truth is simple. Your habits either open doors or keep them closed. You can continue pretending that your choices don't matter, or you can step into the discomfort of growth and start doing the work. Make your bed, show up early, cut unnecessary expenses, study for 30 minutes. These are not small things. These are the exact behaviors that build financial energy. Not because they're dramatic, but because they create identity. And identity is stronger than willpower. You do not need permission to improve. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to start. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Make your first decision with clarity. Follow through even when it's inconvenient. Choose honesty over denial. Build one habit at a time. Track your growth. Adjust your plan. Keep going. This is how momentum is created, not by waiting, but by moving with purpose every single day. The energy you give to your habits is the energy that will flow back to you in the form of results. Financial energy doesn't chase people. It aligns with those who prepare for it. It stays with those who respect it. It grows in those who sustain it through discipline. If you want your financial life to change, don't chase money. Become someone who's ready for it. That means becoming someone with structure, with standards, with self-respect. Someone who makes decisions from a place of calm, not chaos. Someone who acts on purpose, not impulse. That transformation begins with your habits. And those habits begin with one choice. Choose the next right step, then repeat it. That's how you rise. Chapter 4. Take full responsibility for your financial situation now. The moment you stop blaming anything outside of yourself for where your money stands is the moment your financial life begins to change. Until then, you are stuck in a loop of avoidance and excuses. No progress is possible while you point fingers. Whether it was a bad childhood, a poor education, an unsupportive environment, or an unfair circumstance, none of that will move you forward. You may not be responsible for where it started, but you are responsible for where it goes from here. And the longer you wait to accept that, the longer you delay your progress. You cannot fix what you refuse to own. Taking responsibility means you stop lying to yourself. You stop pretending the credit card debt will solve itself. You stop ignoring the habits that drain your income. You stop waiting for someone to come rescue you. It's not about guilt or shame. It's about clarity. Responsibility is not about punishment. It's about power. It's about stepping into the driver's seat of your own life and saying, no matter how far off track I've gone, I have the ability to correct it. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Right now, people waste years waiting for the right time to be responsible, but the right time doesn't show up on its own. You have to create it by acting with purpose in the present. Every time you delay, you lose more time. Every excuse pushes the solution further out of reach. Responsibility doesn't come from motivation. It comes from commitment. A deep decision to face reality without running. To stop hiding behind distractions, to stop blaming external forces, to stop making the same decisions that led to this moment. You only begin to grow once you accept that your choices created your outcomes. The truth is always available to you. You know where you've been careless. You know where you've wasted time, energy, and money. You know when you've avoided difficult conversations or ignored obvious red flags. You know when you've chosen comfort over discipline. The only thing stopping you from turning things around is your willingness to confront that truth. Most people don't want to look at their bank account because they already know it reflects chaos. But hiding from the numbers doesn't change them. Looking at them, learning from them, and making adjustments, that's how you move from regret to responsibility. Taking full responsibility means you give up the comfort of blame. You stop saying if only, and start saying what now. You shift your energy from complaining to creating. You stop explaining why you're stuck and start building a plan to move. It's not about being perfect. It's about being honest. You cannot fix your finances with hope. You fix them with action. You fix them with structure. You fix them with accountability. When you take responsibility, you realize you're not a victim. You're not powerless. You have choices, even if they're small, and those choices are your path forward. Every excuse steals from your future. Saying you don't have time, energy, or knowledge to improve your financial life becomes a wall you build between you and your potential. But every wall can be taken down with action. You don't need to know everything to begin. You just need to stop waiting. Waiting is passive. Responsibility is active. It means you pick up a book, you track your expenses, you look at your spending patterns, you ask for help when needed. You set up a savings plan. You face the discomfort, and through those actions you reclaim control. It doesn't matter how far behind you are. What matters is whether you're willing to stop making excuses and start making changes. Most people know what they should be doing. They just avoid it because the beginning is hard. But difficulty is not a reason to avoid. It's a sign that the work matters. It means your next move is meaningful. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for external motivation. You become your own reason to rise. You start doing what needs to be done, not what feels easy. And that's where real change starts. Look at your financial habits. Be honest. Are you spending to impress others? Are you avoiding budgeting because it feels restrictive? Are you ignoring your debt because it's overwhelming? Every answer you give is a mirror. That mirror can either reflect denial or growth. Taking responsibility means you ask yourself tough questions. Where is my money going? What is this purchase really for? Am I living beyond my means? Am I investing in my future or feeding my insecurity? Self-reflection is not about judgment, it's about clarity. You cannot change what you don't confront. Ownership means no more hiding behind circumstances. Yes, things may have been hard, but every person who has built financial strength has faced hard things. It's not about your conditions, it's about your consistency. The path forward isn't easy, but it is simple. Spend less than you earn. Save regularly. Educate yourself. Avoid emotional purchases. Create a plan and stick to it. These principles don't require genius. They require grit. They require someone who is tired of repeating the same cycle and finally ready to break it. That decision is always available, but only you can make it. Blame makes you feel better temporarily, but it leaves you powerless. Responsibility may feel heavy, but it puts the power back in your hands. When you say, "I created this," you also say, "I can change this." You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need a perfect moment. You just need to start being honest about your part. Responsibility brings results because it eliminates excuses. And without excuses, all you're left with is action. Real growth begins when there's nowhere left to hide. You don't need a bigger income to change. You need a stronger mindset. If you can't manage $100, you won't manage $10,000. It's not about how much you make. It's about how you think, how you plan, and how you act. People chase higher paychecks, thinking that's the answer. But if your habits stay the same, more money only creates more problems. Taking responsibility means you focus on structure, not shortcuts. You build systems, not stories. You create momentum, not just moments. That's how lasting change is made. Make a decision today to track everything. Write down what you earn. Write down what you spend. See the truth. Then build from there. That one habit tracking shifts your awareness. Awareness drives responsibility. You stop guessing and start knowing. You stop assuming and start understanding. Responsibility thrives in awareness. The more you track, the more you see. The more you see, the more you adjust. And every small adjustment adds up. That's how you rebuild your financial life from the inside out. Speak honestly about your mistakes. Not to dwell, but to learn. Say, I made choices that didn't help me. Say, I avoided responsibility in the past. Say, I ignored what I needed to face. That honesty is not weakness. It's strength. It allows you to release shame and build solutions. You're not your past choices. You are your current commitments. And when those commitments are grounded in ownership, the progress becomes real. It becomes steady. It becomes sustainable. You stop starting over, and you start building something that lasts. You don't need to fix everything in 1 week. You just need to stay honest and keep moving. Pay off one debt. Cut one unnecessary expense. Save a small amount every week. Make a list of financial goals. Create a simple monthly budget. These actions are simple, but they're powerful because they are proof that you are no longer hiding. Responsibility shows up in small ways every day. When you make a decision that protects your future instead of pleasing your current feelings, that's a win. Stack those wins. They become your new normal. Taking responsibility also means controlling your environment. If you're surrounded by people who spend carelessly, pressure you to make impulsive decisions, or avoid responsibility themselves, you need to create distance. You don't need judgment. You need space to grow. Find people who are focused on goals. Learn from people who live with discipline. Being around accountability helps you rise. You grow faster when you're surrounded by standards. Responsibility becomes easier when you're not the only one carrying it. Seek out that energy. Be around people who take their lives seriously. Build boundaries around your finances. Say no without guilt. Refuse to spend money just to fit in. Delay gratification to protect your priorities. The more boundaries you build, the more freedom you create. Boundaries are not restrictions. They are tools of responsibility. They help you say yes to what matters and no to what distracts. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing your future. You only owe it to yourself to stay aligned with what you say you want. Boundaries reinforce responsibility by removing confusion. When you take full responsibility, you stop chasing perfection. You start choosing progress. You accept that mistakes will happen, but you no longer use them as excuses to quit. You stay the course even when it's hard. Even when you slip, you get back up faster. That bounce-back ability comes from owning the journey. No one can do the work for you, and that's the beauty of it. You don't have to wait on anyone. Every decision is yours. Every win is earned. Every lesson is yours to keep. Start seeing your financial life as your creation. Not something happening to you, but something you are shaping every day. That shift changes everything. You stop reacting and start designing. You stop fearing the future and start preparing for it. That mindset builds confidence, and confidence creates calm. You stop being overwhelmed by bills because you have a plan. You stop panicking about expenses because you've built a cushion. That peace of mind isn't a dream. It's the result of sustained responsibility. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. Every day you choose whether to take ownership or give it away, whether to act or avoid, whether to grow or stay the same. Choose responsibility. Choose clarity. Choose discipline. Because that is the path that transforms your financial energy. That is the path that brings strength, freedom, and peace. That is the path that leads to the life you truly want. Not someday, but starting now. Chapter 5. Develop resilience by overcoming obstacles to wealth. The path to wealth is rarely smooth. It's filled with sharp turns, setbacks, and unexpected obstacles. Many people start with excitement, set goals, and make big plans, but then they hit resistance. That resistance can show up as a job loss, a failed investment, overwhelming debt, or even the daily pressure of trying to make ends meet. And when that resistance shows up, the people who succeed are not the ones with the perfect plan. They're the ones who refuse to quit. They're the ones who adapt, adjust, and push through. They've trained themselves to bounce back, not break down. That's what resilience is. It's the decision to keep moving when things aren't going your way. It's the strength to keep building even when nothing seems to be working. If you want to create wealth, you need more than desire. You need resilience. Life doesn't make things easy just because your intentions are good. Challenges don't disappear just because you're finally trying to do the right thing. In fact, the moment you start walking the path of discipline, struggle will often rise to meet you. That's not a sign to stop. It's a test of your seriousness. How badly do you want it? Are you willing to stay the course when the pressure increases? Most people fold when things get hard because they believe things should be easy. But wealth is earned through strength. It demands emotional endurance. It requires mental toughness. When you accept that the road will be difficult, you stop being surprised by setbacks, and you start preparing for them. The biggest obstacle to wealth is not lack of opportunity. It's emotional fragility. It's the inability to face failure and keep moving. You will make financial mistakes. You will trust the wrong people. You will take risks that don't work out. But none of that has to define you. What defines you is how you respond. Do you learn or do you collapse? Do you grow or do you blame? Do you regroup or do you give up? Resilience means you use every setback as a stepping stone. You don't let losses shrink your ambition. You allow them to sharpen your wisdom. Pain can make you bitter or it can make you better. You get to choose. If you want to build wealth, you must train your mind to see obstacles differently. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" start thinking, "What can I build through this?" Every financial difficulty is an opportunity to strengthen your awareness. Every loss is a chance to examine your decisions. Every limitation is a moment to upgrade your discipline. You don't grow from ease. You grow from challenge. Resilience is not given. It's earned in the middle of hard times. And the people who build it don't wait for circumstances to change. They change themselves in the face of those circumstances. You will face temptation to quit. You will feel discouraged. But quitting is not an escape. It's just a delay of progress. Every time you give in to discouragement, you restart from zero. Resilient people don't rely on motivation. They rely on commitment. Motivation fades. Life gets heavy, but commitment doesn't waver. It stays steady through storms. That steadiness is what allows you to keep showing up, even when it's not working yet. Especially when it's not working yet. That's the discipline that builds wealth. Not speed, not shortcuts, just the daily decision to keep going. There will be seasons when you're doing the right things and not seeing results. You'll save money, work hard, stick to your plan, and still feel stuck. That's not failure, it's the grind that separates those who talk from those who build. Real resilience means you stay loyal to your vision even when the results are delayed. You trust the process. You trust yourself. You resist the urge to panic or throw everything away. Most people are too addicted to quick wins. They want instant validation. But real wealth doesn't come from speed. It comes from depth. It comes from doing the right things over and over, long enough to outlast the pressure. Building wealth means you will have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You will have to cut back when everyone else is spending. You will have to say no when others say yes. You will have to invest time into learning skills that take months or years to master. You will have to work through frustration, fatigue, and fear. Resilience is what allows you to stay disciplined in those moments. It's what helps you keep your focus when the reward isn't immediate. People think the hard part is the work, but the hard part is doing the work consistently, especially when it feels like no one sees it, when you're not being praised, and when the progress is invisible. Obstacles are not meant to stop you, they're meant to shape you. They reveal your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. They test your intentions so you can purify them. Every obstacle has a lesson, but only if you're willing to learn. Don't complain about how hard it is. Use that difficulty to forge a better version of yourself. If your plan fails, build a better one. If your discipline slips, get back on track faster. If you lose money, analyze why. Every obstacle becomes your teacher when you approach it with the right mindset. One of the most important skills in developing resilience is emotional control. You cannot afford to let fear run your decisions. You can't panic every time something goes wrong. You can't spiral into hopelessness when things take longer than expected. You must build the ability to pause, breathe, and act with clarity. Emotional chaos will drain your focus, and without focus, wealth cannot be built. You don't need to be cold or robotic. You need to be steady. That steadiness is the foundation of resilience. It's what allows you to keep making good decisions, even when you're tired, stressed, or afraid. Build routines that ground you. Wake up early, reflect on your goals, review your progress, track your spending, protect your time. These daily disciplines create stability. They give you control when life feels uncertain. Resilient people don't wait for life to be easy. They build systems to stay strong when life is hard. Your habits are your anchor. When everything feels chaotic, your habits remind you of who you are and where you're going. You may not control every challenge, but you control your preparation. That preparation is what keeps you moving through uncertainty. You must also guard your mindset from negativity. Avoid environments that breed defeat. Limit conversations that drain your energy. Surround yourself with people who are building something, not people who are always complaining. Resilience grows faster in the right environment. If you're around quitters, you'll adopt that mindset. If you're around disciplined people, their energy will strengthen yours. You don't need a crowd. You just need alignment. One person with the right energy can help you stay grounded when you want to give up. Choose your influences carefully. They either build your resilience or weaken it. There will be people who doubt your path, people who think you're wasting time, being too serious, or missing out. Ignore them. They don't see what you see. They don't feel the urgency you feel. You're not building wealth to impress anyone. You're doing it to build freedom, to create options, to provide, to live on your terms. That mission is too important to be distracted by noise. Resilience means you keep walking your path, even if others don't understand it, even if you're walking alone. Sometimes the obstacle is not external, it's internal. It's the voice that says you're not good enough, that it's too late, that you've failed too many times. You must learn to speak back to that voice, not with false positivity, but with evidence. Look at what you've overcome. Look at how far you've come. Look at the moments you could have quit, but didn't. That's proof of your resilience. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving. Progress is louder than doubt. Create a mindset that refuses to stay down. You may fall, but you rise faster each time. You may struggle, but you don't give up. You may lose money, but you gain wisdom. You may feel tired, but you don't retreat. Every obstacle you overcome builds strength. That strength becomes your foundation. That foundation supports your future wealth. It's not about avoiding difficulty, it's about becoming someone who can handle it. You are not weak just because things feel hard. You are human. But within you is the capacity to endure. Within you is the ability to build, to rebuild, to recover. You have been through more than you give yourself credit for, and you're still here, still showing up. That is resilience, and the more you nurture it, the more unshakable you become. Wealth is built on resilience, because wealth is not just about money. It's about who you become in the process of earning it, protecting it, and multiplying it. Anyone can get lucky once, but lasting wealth belongs to those who can endure uncertainty, delay gratification, and stay consistent through struggle. You build wealth when you refuse to be broken by setbacks. When you keep your vision alive, even when the road gets dark. The goal is not to avoid obstacles. The goal is to become someone who outgrows them, someone who uses every setback as fuel, someone who turns adversity into advantage. That mindset is rare. That mindset is powerful, and that mindset will carry you farther than any strategy or tactic ever could. If you can master your response to obstacles, there is nothing that can truly stop you. Stay strong. Stay steady. Stay committed. You have what it takes, not because you've never failed, but because you refuse to stay there. Not because it's easy, but because you know it matters. You will rise, not by avoiding difficulty, but by using it to forge the strength you need to go further than you ever imagined. Keep going. Your resilience is your wealth. Chapter 6. Create a plan to manage money with intentional purpose. The difference between financial stress and financial strength often comes down to one thing: whether or not you have a plan. Most people spend their entire lives reacting to money. They wait for bills to arrive, wait for paychecks to land, wait for things to get better. They operate without clarity, living paycheck to paycheck, and hoping someday they'll finally get ahead. But wealth doesn't respond to hope. It responds to structure. It responds to discipline. It responds to purpose. If you want to build real control over your financial life, you have to stop drifting and start directing. That starts with a plan, not a fantasy, not a list of wishes, but a concrete and intentional roadmap for how your money moves. Money without direction always disappears. That's not a mystery. It's a rule. When you don't assign your money a job, it will find a way to escape. Unnecessary purchases, emotional spending, forgotten subscriptions, impulse decisions. This is how energy leaks. And every time your money leaks, you lose more than cash. You lose momentum. You lose clarity. You lose the opportunity to build something meaningful. A plan changes that. A plan is not about restriction. It's about freedom through focus. It gives every dollar a role. It replaces randomness with reason. It puts you back in control of your financial energy, so it starts working for you instead of constantly slipping away from you. There is no wealth without self-direction, and that direction starts with awareness. You need to know where your money is going. You can't improve what you don't understand. Start by tracking everything, every expense, every bill, every source of income, not just the big numbers, the small ones too. Track the coffee, the snacks, the online orders, the auto renewals. This is not about guilt, it's about truth. You need to see the full picture clearly, not just the parts that are easy to remember. Most people underestimate how much they spend and overestimate how much they save. That gap is where chaos breeds. Once you track with full honesty, patterns will emerge. You'll see what's necessary and what's not. You'll notice habits that need to be cut and choices that need to be made more deliberately. Once you're clear on where your money is currently going, you can decide where you want it to go. Start with your non-negotiables, your needs. Rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, basic survival. Assign those their rightful place first. Don't pretend you can live without them. After that, look at your goals. Do you want to get out of debt? Build an emergency fund, save for a business, travel, invest, retire early. Each goal must have a dollar amount attached and a time frame. Don't just say you want to save, say how much and by when. The clearer your target, the sharper your focus. Vague goals lead to vague results. Precision builds progress. Now allocate your money with purpose. Every dollar needs to be labeled. Use a simple system that matches your lifestyle. You don't need complex spreadsheets or software unless they help. A notebook, a budgeting app, a basic envelope system. What matters is consistency. Assign fixed percentages if that helps you think clearly. For example, 50% for needs, 20% for savings, 10% for investments, 10% for learning, 10% for flexibility or enjoyment. The numbers can shift based on your income and your goals, but the habit of assigning purpose must remain. Money with a purpose is protected. Money with a plan doesn't get lost in emotional spending or unconscious decisions. Remove friction wherever possible. Automate your savings. Schedule your bill payments. Set reminders. Make good decisions easier to follow through on. Don't rely on memory or willpower. They both fail under stress. Structure is more reliable. Systems protect discipline. When your financial life is organized, your mental energy is freed up. You're no longer constantly worried, stressed, or trying to catch up. You're operating from a place of order, and order multiplies efficiency. Intentional money planning also means knowing what to eliminate. Not every expense deserves to stay. Audit your habits regularly. What's draining your energy? What adds no value to your life but continues to get your money? Cut it. Cancel it. Replace it with something smarter. This is not about deprivation. It's about alignment. Your money should reflect your values. If your spending doesn't match your goals, your money is being wasted on noise. You don't need to be rich to take control. You just need to stop letting your energy get scattered across things that don't matter. Set financial boundaries. Say no to things that break your budget. Avoid emotional purchases. Don't compete with people who aren't paying your bills. Stop trying to keep up with friends who are also struggling behind the scenes. Social pressure is one of the fastest ways to sabotage your plan. But when you're clear about what you're building, you stop caring what people think. You stop needing to prove anything. You begin to prioritize peace over appearances. That clarity becomes your shield against distractions. A smart financial plan includes preparation for the unexpected. Emergencies will happen. Your car will break down. Medical bills will show up. Life will test your readiness. A solid plan includes an emergency fund, not to be touched for wants but reserved for real needs. This creates emotional security. When you're prepared, you don't panic. When you're stable, you make better decisions, and better decisions protect your long-term growth. A plan must also include investment in your mind. Spend money to learn, books, courses, mentorship. If it improves your decision-making, It's not a cost. It's an investment in better choices. Wealthy people never stop learning. They don't hoard, they grow. And that growth is the source of smarter money habits. The more you understand how money works, the more you start creating instead of just consuming. Track your progress monthly. Review your wins. Study your mistakes. Adjust your strategy. Your plan should evolve with your life. Maybe your income changes. Maybe your goals shift. Adapt without losing the core principles. Structure, purpose, awareness, alignment. These must remain steady. Don't let one bad month destroy your discipline. Resilience is built when you keep showing up for your plan, even when results feel slow. The results will come, but only if the commitment stays strong. Build your financial plan around your long-term identity, not just your short-term feelings. Ask yourself, who am I becoming with these decisions? Are these choices building the version of me I want to live as? Every financial action either builds your future or delays it. Choose wisely. Choose with intention. Choose with full awareness of the cost of impulsiveness. A well-lived life doesn't come from what you earn. It comes from how you direct what you earn. Give your plan enough room for joy. Don't make it so strict that you begin to resent it. Discipline doesn't mean suffering. You're not punishing yourself. You're designing your life. Create space for celebration. Create space for things that inspire you. Just make sure they are part of the plan, not a threat to it. Joy that comes from within a structure is guilt-free. It energizes you instead of weakening your discipline. Your plan is not just about money. It's about taking back your power. It's about removing chaos from your life. It's about stepping out of survival mode and into intentional living. It's about proving to yourself that you can be trusted with energy, with responsibility, and with freedom. Most people never get there because they treat money like a problem instead of a tool. But you can think differently. You can act differently. You can lead your life with clarity instead of confusion. Don't wait for more income to create your plan. Don't wait for debt to disappear or life to calm down. A plan starts wherever you are. It brings order to the mess. It gives you the structure to climb. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Start by facing the truth. Start by deciding what matters most. Start by assigning purpose to your energy. One decision at a time, one habit at a time, $1 at a time. That's how you build wealth that lasts. Intentional planning separates dreamers from builders. It turns goals into systems. It transforms anxiety into clarity. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. Present with your choices. Present with your energy. Present with your growth. The future is not waiting. It's being built now, with the way you manage today. So choose to lead your money instead of letting it lead you. Choose to design instead of drift. Choose to create instead of consume. This is how you win, one intentional step at a time. Chapter 7. Harness discipline to multiply your financial energy consistently. Discipline is the core of any long-lasting success, especially when it comes to money. It is not the temporary bursts of inspiration that create wealth. It is the quiet, consistent effort over time. Discipline allows you to multiply your financial energy because it enables you to make smart choices every single day, regardless of external circumstances. Without it, even the most brilliant strategies will crumble. Wealth does not come from a single good decision. It comes from making hundreds, if not thousands, of small, deliberate actions that align with your long-term goals. The key is consistency. It's in the small, everyday choices where financial success is built. The first step in harnessing discipline to multiply your financial energy is understanding that wealth doesn't happen overnight. It is the result of repetitive, positive actions compounded over time. The most successful individuals are not the ones who simply get lucky. They are the ones who make wise decisions daily. The concept of delayed gratification is vital here. Instead of chasing instant pleasures that only offer short-term satisfaction, discipline teaches you to prioritize your long-term goals. Every time you choose to delay a purchase, save instead of spend, or invest rather than consume, you multiply your financial energy in a way that will compound over years. Start small. Don't expect to make grand changes overnight. Begin by setting small, attainable financial goals. Track your expenses, create a budget, and allocate money to your savings and investments regularly. You don't have to start with big numbers. Even small amounts, if done consistently, will build over time. The power of discipline lies in the small things. Commit to saving a certain percentage of your income every month, no matter how small it seems. Make it non-negotiable. This act of commitment will build a muscle. With each deposit you make, no matter how small, you are reaffirming your control over your money. This discipline builds trust. You start to trust yourself, knowing that you are capable of making choices that align with your vision. One of the main hurdles people face when trying to multiply their financial energy is inconsistency. They may be able to save for a month, or even a few months, but then they get distracted. They indulge in the moment, and the money they had saved disappears, or they put off investing until later. Discipline requires resilience against these impulses. It means staying the course even when the immediate rewards seem more attractive than the long-term benefits. When you make a decision to take control of your financial energy, you are making a promise to yourself to stick to it, even when the road gets tough. Overcoming these temptations is what separates those who build wealth from those who only wish for it. To multiply your financial energy consistently, you must build systems that support your discipline. Systems are your guardrails, protecting you from moments of weakness. For example, automate your savings so that it happens before you have the chance to touch the money. Set up automatic transfers to your retirement account or investment accounts. This removes the possibility of spending the money you've set aside. When you automate, you're setting yourself up for success by removing human error and impulse. Your future wealth will be built by the systems you establish today. The next aspect of discipline is to make financial decisions with clarity, not emotion. When you make financial choices based on how you feel in the moment, whether it's frustration, boredom, or stress, you are undermining your discipline. Emotions can cloud judgment and lead to decisions that derail your progress. Instead, discipline is built by making decisions with logic and consistency, regardless of what your emotions are telling you at the time. This is where financial self-awareness becomes critical. You must understand the emotional triggers that cause you to spend impulsively. Is it stress that leads you to make unnecessary purchases? Is it boredom that makes you seek instant gratification through shopping? Understanding these patterns will allow you to develop strategies to manage them. For example, if stress is a trigger, you might create a strategy where you go for a walk or engage in another form of relaxation instead of going online to make a purchase. This form of discipline requires you to learn about yourself and use that knowledge to guide your actions. Consistency is the bedrock of discipline, but so is flexibility. While a rigid approach can sometimes lead to success, the key to long-term wealth is the ability to adapt. Financial discipline doesn't mean you never bend the rules. It means that when you do bend them, you do so with intentionality. When life throws you a curveball, it's okay to adjust your plan. If an unexpected expense arises or your income fluctuates, Don't abandon your plan altogether. Instead, make adjustments. If you have to temporarily reduce your savings or investments to accommodate a short-term need, do it strategically. The goal is not to break your discipline, but to work within the circumstances in a way that doesn't undermine your long-term vision. Another crucial aspect of harnessing discipline to multiply your financial energy is to stay focused on your long-term vision. It's easy to get distracted by short-term goals, particularly in a world that promotes instant gratification. But if you want to create lasting wealth, you must remain laser-focused on the bigger picture. Whether it's retirement savings, investing in a business, or building an emergency fund, you have to constantly remind yourself why you're doing this. Write down your goals, revisit them regularly, and use them as a source of motivation during times of temptation. Discipline isn't just about saying no to the things that don't serve you, it's also about saying yes to the things that do. It's about saying yes to your future self, to your financial freedom, and to your growth. The best way to stay on track with your financial discipline is to create regular check-ins with yourself. Whether it's weekly, monthly, or quarterly, set aside time to review your progress. Are you on track with your savings goals? Are your investments growing as expected? Are there any adjustments you need to make to stay in line with your goals? These check-ins help keep you accountable to yourself and ensure that you don't drift off course. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day hustle, but regular reflection allows you to assess whether your current actions are moving you closer to your vision. Discipline also means embracing the discomfort that comes with sacrifice. You will need to say no to things that might seem appealing in the moment. This doesn't mean you need to live a life of deprivation. It means you're consciously choosing what to give your energy to. Instead of buying the latest gadget or splurging on something that doesn't align with your goals, you choose to invest that money into something that will grow your wealth. This might be a long-term investment, paying down debt, or adding to your emergency fund. The discomfort you experience today is the foundation for the freedom you'll experience tomorrow. When you resist the urge for instant gratification, you're giving yourself a long-term reward that will multiply exponentially. Building discipline takes time, but the rewards are worth it. As your financial energy multiplies, you'll start to see the results of your consistency. Small sacrifices add up over time, and what once seemed impossible will become second nature. Financial discipline doesn't just create wealth, it creates confidence, control, and peace of mind. You'll no longer feel anxious about money or wonder if you'll ever be able to retire or achieve your dreams. Instead, you'll have a clear plan, a disciplined approach, and the knowledge that you're doing everything in your power to build the future you want. In conclusion, financial discipline is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It is the skill that allows you to harness your money, to build wealth, and to multiply your financial energy consistently. Discipline is the force that turns your dreams into reality. It requires commitment, focus, and the courage to choose long-term gain over short-term pleasure. But most importantly, it requires consistency. Small actions, when repeated over time, create monumental results. Harness your discipline and watch your financial energy grow. Chapter 8. Transform your relationship with money to align with growth. The relationship you have with money is deeply intertwined with your values, beliefs, and past experiences. Most people, whether they realize it or not, carry certain emotional baggage or misconceptions about money. These beliefs can significantly impact their financial habits, ultimately affecting their wealth-building journey. To truly transform your financial life, it's essential to reshape your relationship with money so that it aligns with growth, abundance, and long-term success. The process involves unlearning old habits, redefining your values, and adopting a mindset that sees money as a tool for progress, not a source of stress or limitation. One of the first steps in transforming your relationship with money is to examine the beliefs you currently hold. What do you truly believe about money? Do you see it as a source of power or stress? Do you think that it's difficult to earn, or that you will never have enough? These beliefs shape your financial decisions, often without you even realizing it. If you believe that money is scarce or that it's hard to come by, you're likely to make financial decisions from a place of fear and scarcity. On the other hand, if you believe that money is abundant and that you have the power to attract it, you'll make decisions from a place of confidence and possibility. To shift your relationship with money, you must first challenge these beliefs. Take some time to reflect on your past experiences with money. What did your parents or caregivers teach you about finances? What kind of messages did you internalize growing up? For many people, money was associated with stress, struggle, or even shame. These early lessons shape how we view and manage money as adults. But the good news is that you can change these ingrained beliefs. You have the power to reprogram your mindset and create a healthier, more abundant relationship with money. Start by recognizing and replacing limiting beliefs. Instead of thinking that money is hard to come by, start believing that wealth is a result of your actions, decisions, and discipline. Money flows freely to those who provide value, work hard, and remain consistent. When you begin to adopt this mindset, you start to see money as a tool that empowers you to create positive change in your life and the lives of others. Another key aspect of transforming your relationship with money is moving away from the idea of money as a source of stress or anxiety. Money should not be something you fear or avoid. Many people avoid thinking about their finances because it triggers feelings of worry or insecurity. They may ignore bills, avoid budgeting, or procrastinate on making important financial decisions. This avoidance only exacerbates the stress and makes it harder to gain control over your financial situation. Instead, take proactive steps to bring money into your awareness. This doesn't mean obsessing over every penny, but it does mean taking responsibility and making intentional choices. Creating a budget, tracking your spending, and setting financial goals will help you regain control and reduce the fear associated with money. By taking small, consistent steps to manage your finances, you transform money from a source of anxiety into a tool for empowerment. The more familiar and comfortable you become with managing money, the less it will control you, and the more you'll be able to direct it in a way that serves your goals and aspirations. Transforming your relationship with money also means adopting an abundance mindset. This is a key shift from scarcity thinking. When you believe that money is abundant and that there is always enough to go around, you start making decisions based on abundance, not lack. An abundance mindset allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It empowers you to take risks, pursue new ventures, and invest in yourself without fear of failure. Abundance thinking doesn't mean reckless spending or ignoring the need for discipline. Instead, it's about recognizing that there is enough wealth to go around and that you can claim your share by adding value to the world and focusing on growth. To cultivate an abundance mindset, start by surrounding yourself with positive influences. Spend time with people who have a healthy attitude toward money and who can inspire you to think bigger. Listen to podcasts, read books, and attend events that foster a growth-oriented mindset. Engage with individuals who see money as a tool for creating a positive impact, not as a source of greed or competition. The more you expose yourself to this mindset, the more you'll begin to shift your own perspective. Another essential aspect of transforming your relationship with money is understanding that money is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. Money enables you to live a fulfilling life, pursue your passions, and help others. When you see money as a tool for growth, it becomes a powerful force for positive change. Whether you use it to invest in your education, start a business, or give back to your community, money should be used to create value and make a difference. When you align your financial goals with your core values, money becomes a vehicle for personal fulfillment and growth. Start by identifying what truly matters to you. What do you want to accomplish in your life? What legacy do you want to leave? When you connect your financial goals to your personal values, you create a deeper sense of purpose and meaning around money. This shift helps you move away from materialism or the desire for fleeting pleasures and toward a more intentional, purpose-driven approach to wealth. It's also important to recognize that money is a tool for personal growth. In the process of managing and multiplying your financial energy, you develop essential life skills such as discipline, patience, and resilience. These skills transcend money and spill over into other areas of your life. The habits you cultivate to build wealth, such as budgeting, saving, and investing, teach you how to make deliberate choices, stick to your goals, and overcome setbacks. Money in this sense becomes a catalyst for self-improvement and personal mastery. As you transform your relationship with money, it's essential to be patient with yourself. Changing your mindset and habits takes time, and it requires consistent effort. There will be moments of doubt, setbacks, and challenges along the way. However, the key is to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. As you continue to take intentional actions to align your relationship with money to your growth, you will start to see changes both in your finances and in your mindset. Your belief in your ability to attract and manage wealth will strengthen, and you will begin to experience a more abundant, fulfilling life. Ultimately, transforming your relationship with money is not about focusing solely on accumulation, but on using money to support your growth, values, and life's purpose. When money is no longer a source of stress or confusion, but instead a tool for empowerment, you unlock a powerful force that can propel you toward your greatest potential. You stop seeing money as something you have to chase and start seeing it as something that flows naturally to you as you align your actions with your deepest values and aspirations. As you embrace this mindset, you begin to see money not as an obstacle, but as a powerful ally on your journey toward personal growth and financial freedom. Chapter 9. Invest in yourself first to amplify your financial potential. You're the most valuable asset you will ever have, and the moment you truly believe that, everything begins to shift. People are taught to chase external rewards, to stack money, to seek validation through numbers in a bank account. But what they're rarely told is that none of that wealth can be sustained if they don't first invest in themselves. Every ounce of confidence, skill, discipline, clarity, and drive you bring into your life determines how much financial energy you'll attract and how long you'll be able to keep it. That's the truth people overlook. You cannot outrun your inner limitations, no matter how hard you push externally. If your habits are weak, your mindset is scattered, your priorities are misplaced, and your confidence is unstable, your finances will reflect that chaos. But if you become sharper, stronger, more deliberate, and more prepared, your ability to create and hold wealth expands every single day. The money you want is already connected to the version of you that has leveled up. It's not about chasing the cash first. It's about becoming the person who can handle it. Investing in yourself is not a luxury. It is the foundation. If you don't build that foundation, you'll watch opportunities pass you by, you'll struggle to maintain momentum, and you'll settle for less than what you're capable of. So this isn't about motivational fluff. This is about a practical shift in how you see your time, energy, and resources. Because when you redirect all three toward your own growth, everything in your life begins to multiply. The question is, are you willing to bet on yourself? Most people aren't. They'll spend money on entertainment, distractions, temporary escapes, and surface-level pleasures. But when it comes to their personal development, they hesitate. They talk themselves out of the very thing that could change everything. That's where the real problem begins. Every dollar you spend, every hour you commit, every habit you form, those are all investments. The difference is whether they're compounding in your favor or draining your potential. If you've got time to waste, money to waste, energy to waste, but you don't have clarity, consistency, or inner strength, then you're mismanaging your most powerful resources. Investing in yourself means using your time to grow stronger, using your money to learn more, and using your energy to build habits that bring long-term returns. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. There are people with half your intelligence who are far ahead financially, not because they're smarter, but because they developed the self-discipline to evolve faster than their fears. They stopped making excuses and started making investments in their own growth. They read every day. They practice skills that sharpen their value. They reflect, adjust, and keep showing up even when no one's watching. That's what sets them apart. You don't need a perfect strategy. You need a consistent one. Start with your morning. Is your first hour setting the tone for your best self? Or are you reacting, rushing, and wasting your most powerful mental window? Upgrade that first hour. Read a few pages of something that challenges your thinking. Review your goals. Plan your money. Visualize who you're becoming. That small commitment shifts everything else. Then look at how you spend your free time. Is it helping you get sharper or just passing time? Every book you read is a seed. Every new skill you practice is a door. Every hour of intentional focus becomes fuel. Stop looking for shortcuts. Start looking for personal upgrades. When you develop yourself, your ability to make money increases naturally. You communicate better. You think clearer. You solve problems faster. You build stronger relationships. These things open doors and build trust. That trust becomes opportunity. That opportunity becomes income. But it doesn't work in reverse. Money without wisdom is a trap. You'll waste it, chase the next high, lose control, and sabotage your momentum. That's why you have to build a strong inner foundation, because the version of you that makes it isn't the same version that's stuck. You have to earn your next level by growing into it. That's what investing in yourself means: trading comfort for growth, distraction for clarity, fear for courage. There are no quick wins when it comes to personal development. The reward comes from compounding effort. It might not pay off tomorrow, but it will pay off over time if you stay consistent. Maybe right now, you're not where you want to be financially. Maybe you're frustrated or overwhelmed or unsure where to start. That's normal. What matters is that you stop looking outward and start looking inward. What are you doing daily that makes you stronger? Are you learning something that increases your value? Are you practicing a skill that has real-world demand? Are you expanding your thinking, refining your habits, and becoming more grounded? If not, start there. You don't need permission. You just need the discipline to take control. Every time you hesitate to invest in your growth, Remember this: you're already paying a cost by staying the same. Lost time is expensive. Missed opportunities are expensive. Stagnation is expensive. Growth might feel uncomfortable, but it's the only thing that pays off forever. You've got to stop asking if it's worth it to spend money on yourself and start asking what it's costing you not to. Whether it's taking a course, hiring a coach, joining a program, or simply buying a book, these are not expenses, these are power moves. And the sooner you see them that way, the faster your life changes. Even if you don't have a lot of money to invest right now, you still have your time and energy. Use them wisely. Wake up earlier and study. Reflect and journal. Watch interviews of people doing what you want to do. Learn how they think, how they act, how they overcame doubt. You're not behind, you're just waiting for the moment you fully decide to level up. And when you do, everything else starts to align. If you're surrounded by people who don't prioritize growth, be the one who sets the standard. Your energy will either pull people up or pull you down, so make sure you're moving in the right direction. This is about more than money. It's about building the kind of inner strength that makes you unstoppable. When you become consistent, patient, focused and disciplined, you stop being shaken by temporary setbacks. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop needing approval. You learn how to sit with discomfort, push through fear, and make moves with confidence. That's the type of energy that attracts wealth. Not just financial wealth, but mental and emotional wealth too. Peace, purpose, clarity. All of it comes from investing in yourself. People will doubt you when you start. They won't understand why you're reading instead of scrolling, why you're studying instead of partying, why you're working on your future instead of wasting your time. Let them doubt. Let them talk. Because while they stay in place, you're rising. You're building something they can't see yet. And one day, they'll ask you how you did it. Your answer will be simple. I stopped waiting and started working. I bet on myself when no one else did. And I kept going when it got hard. That's the mindset that creates real wealth. There will be moments when it feels slow. Moments when you wonder if it's even working. Stay the course. Growth happens in silence. Progress is often invisible at first, but the compounding effect of daily improvement will blow your mind over time. You won't even recognize the person you were a year ago. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. That's the power of self-investment. It transforms everything from the inside out. Stop waiting for the perfect time to begin. Start now with what you have. Build your mind, sharpen your skills, strengthen your habits, deepen your discipline. That's the path to financial energy that lasts. You don't need to chase validation or prove anything to anyone. You just need to commit to your own evolution. That's the ultimate investment. It never loses value. It never expires. It always pays you back, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Your future self is waiting for you to decide. Not tomorrow, not next month. Now, there's no downside to becoming stronger, smarter, clearer, and more disciplined. There's no regret in taking ownership of your potential. So do the work, make the time, show up every day, and know that the energy you build will attract everything you need. Because when you invest in yourself, you activate a level of power and possibility that no one can take from you. That's how you amplify your financial potential, by becoming someone who is too focused, too prepared, and too resilient to ever be denied. Chapter 10. Build lasting wealth by contributing value to the world. Building lasting wealth doesn't come from chasing the next quick dollar or relying on mere luck. Real, sustainable wealth is built by contributing lasting value to the world. When you shift your focus from accumulating money to creating something of worth, you not only enrich your life, but also leave a lasting impact on others. The process of contributing value creates a ripple effect that flows beyond your immediate circle, expanding as it touches the lives of others. This is the kind of wealth that endures, the kind that doesn't depend on fleeting trends or short-lived opportunities. It's the type of wealth that brings fulfillment, purpose, and long-term success. The first step in building lasting wealth through value is understanding that money, in its most essential form, is simply a tool for exchange. It's a medium that facilitates the transfer of goods, services, and value between individuals. But just like any tool, its power comes from how you use it. If you focus solely on getting money without thinking about what value you're bringing to the table, you'll eventually hit a wall. The key is to shift your perspective. Money will always follow value. The more you contribute to others, the more it comes back to you, not just in terms of money, but in opportunities, relationships, and personal fulfillment. Contributing value requires a mindset that is grounded in service. It's about looking for ways to solve problems, meet needs, and provide something meaningful. Every business, every service, every product that has lasted the test of time has been built on the foundation of solving a problem or fulfilling a deep need. When you create something that others truly need, something that makes their lives easier or better in some way, you establish yourself as someone who brings value. This is the first part of the equation. To contribute value, you need to be constantly looking for ways to help others. Your product or service might not be groundbreaking, but if it genuinely adds value to someone's life, it's worth the effort. But creating value doesn't stop with the transaction. True wealth comes when you consistently focus on how your value can evolve and grow. The best way to do this is by constantly improving. The world is always changing, and the needs of your audience or market are constantly shifting. To continue contributing value, you need to be adaptable, willing to learn, and open to feedback. This mindset of continuous improvement is vital because as you grow, so does the value you provide. Whether it's through refining your craft, expanding your knowledge, or understanding your customers better, the more you invest in improving yourself and your offerings, the more value you create for others. And in turn, the wealth, whether financial, personal, or social, will follow. One of the most powerful ways to contribute lasting value is by developing a deep understanding of what people truly want and need. This requires empathy. You need to listen not just to what people say, but to what they don't say, to the things they struggle with, the problems they face. Understanding this deep underlying need allows you to design solutions that are not only helpful but transformative. Often, the most successful businesses or individuals don't just meet basic needs, they address needs that people didn't even realize they had. This deeper connection to the people you are serving allows you to make a greater impact, which ultimately leads to greater rewards. When you contribute value to the world, you're also investing in the relationships that will support you for the long term. Wealth is never built in isolation. It is at its core about relationships with customers, partners, colleagues, and communities. By contributing value, you build trust, loyalty, and a sense of mutual benefit. This is how wealth compounds. As you give, you create connections that amplify your ability to give even more, whether in terms of resources, influence, or opportunity. These relationships form the foundation of lasting success. The more you invest in relationships based on trust and value, the more you set yourself up for long-term wealth. As you build this value-driven approach, remember that the journey is not always linear. The path to creating lasting wealth is often filled with setbacks, failures, and challenges. However, these obstacles should not deter you. Rather, they should be seen as opportunities for growth. Every mistake, every failure, is a lesson that helps you refine your ability to contribute value. Wealth, both financial and personal, is a reflection of your ability to persist through adversity and continue to serve others with integrity and commitment. Building wealth through value creation also requires patience. It's easy to get caught up in the desire for instant gratification, but true wealth takes time. When you focus on long-term value, you're playing a game of compounding. Every small effort you make to improve your product, service, or relationship compounds over time, creating a snowball effect that accelerates as it builds momentum. Trust that your efforts will pay off, but understand that it's a gradual process. The patience to stay the course, especially when results don't come immediately, is what separates the ones who build lasting wealth from those who chase fleeting success. In today's world, there's an overwhelming amount of distractions, and it's easy to get sidetracked by quick wins or empty promises. But true wealth isn't built on shortcuts. It's built by showing up every day with the intention of making a meaningful difference. It's about committing yourself to creating something that is worthwhile, not just for you but for the people who depend on you and the world around you. The more you focus on contributing real value, the more naturally real sustainable wealth will come to you. Wealth is not just about having money, it's about making a difference. It's about creating something that lasts, something that improves the lives of others. As you continue to contribute, grow, and adapt, your wealth will multiply, not just in dollars but in opportunities, in impact, and in your own personal growth. When you align your actions with the goal of creating lasting value, you are laying the foundation for a life of abundance. And as you focus on contributing to the world, you will find that true wealth isn't something you accumulate, it's something you create, one act of value at a time. Now take a moment to think about what you're contributing to the world. Are you solving a problem? Are you improving lives? Are you creating something that will last? If the answer is yes, then you are already on the path to building lasting wealth. The road may not always be smooth, and the pace may not always be fast, but as long as you remain focused on contributing value and continuously improving, you are guaranteed to see the rewards, not just in your bank account but in your life, your relationships, and your legacy. This is the wealth that endures. This is the wealth that matters.